Hello.
Good morning. Absolutely a very inspiring and fantastic day. Dear entrepreneurs, students, homemakers, guest speakers, and all who have gathered here for the second day of ShailajaMinister Women Summit. Yesterday, we had a fabulous session on the subject cybersecurity and countering misinformation. The audience participation and engagement till the end of the session was really encouraging. It was a beautifully presented workshop. So we expect more from today's speakers and from the participants. What is ShailajaMinister program? It's a 3-day virtual women summit and a hackathon to tackle the real issues of the women in the society that include cybersecurity, reskilling, and hygiene. This program is organized in association with American State Department, Alumni Ties, World Learning, IVLP, and US Consulate, Chennai. Today, we are here with one of the most relevant topics during this pandemic, that is reskilling of women workforce post-COVID, or during COVID, we can say. We are still moving forward with the corona pandemic. Thanks to Swat Foods, Gender Park, Kerala Startup Mission, Carb Lab Startups, Geeks Up, and Green Media for your support for making this event more grand. Let's start today's session with the introduction of the panelists over here. Honorable Health Minister Shailaja will be joining with us shortly. I'm glad to welcome Dr. Saji Gopinath, the man who changed Kerala's startup ecosystem to a more vibrant and dynamic way. Dr. Saundarya Rajesh, with her expertise in reskilling and transforming the future of work for women. Shruti, SrivastavaBusiness Analyst, TCS, and Sharmila, who's running sales and marketing platform. Let's go to their AV and come back.
Gopinath, currently the Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Digital Sciences, Innovation and Technology. Dr. Saji was the head of Kerala Startup Mission, KSUM, an apex body of Government of Kerala for supporting the technical entrepreneurship and startup ecosystem in the state. Dr. Saji Gopinath served IIM Kozhikode for over 17 years as Professor, Dean Academic and Dean Development. He was the brain behind some of Kerala's major achievements in the startup ranking, such as the state's policy support for startups, the launch of entrepreneurship cells in all districts, and the Kerala Startup Corpus Fund, an institutional mechanism for financing startups. He has also served as founding dean of Bennett University, a modern-age multidisciplinary university of Times of India Group established in Greater Noida. Dr. Saundarya Rajesh is the founder-president of Avtar Career Creators and Flexi Careers India. Saundarya has been championing the cause of career re-entry opportunities for women who took a break after marriage, motherhood, or relocation for over a decade. Chosen as one of the 100 Women Achievers of 2016, she was felicitated by the President of India. She also found a place in the United Nations list of 25 women transforming India developed by the Niti Aayog. She has pioneered the concept of career intentionality, benefiting over 10,000 women. Shruti Srivastava, with more than a decade of experience across multiple industry verticals, has assumed different roles and responsibilities ranging from software engineer to business analyst and agile project manager. Since her early days with Thomson Reuters, her focus has been creating world-class technology delivery teams and processes, ensuring innovation and excellence at different stages. Currently working at Tata Consultancy Services, Shruti plays an active role in encouraging women in tech participation and works towards diversity, equity and inclusion. CEO of B2B SaaS Space Corefactors, Sharmila Sundaram has helped hundreds of businesses across India to increase throughput and drive revenue with integrated sales and marketing platform TeleDues, the flagship product of Corefactors. Winner of the SCB 2020 Women Enablers Award, her work is driven by her experience in building value and knowledge-based teams and companies. In the past couple of years, Sharmila has helped Corefactors grow from a 10-people team to the current strength of more than 40 people.
Okay, welcome all to ShailajaMinister Summit. Anjana, who is a senior visual media journalist, will now lead the panel discussion from Delhi. She was a faculty in English literature who turned her career to journalism and worked with many regional channels in Kerala, and she is an award-winning journalist too. Over to you, Anjana, for the session.
Thank you, Nisha. What a lovely morning. It's a lovely winter morning here in Delhi. A beautiful day to speak about women, power to women. Welcome all to the summit. So today, on the second day of ShailajaMinister Summit, we discuss reskilling women workforce after COVID. So we have an eminent lineup of panelists whom you have seen now. So we are expecting our Honorable Minister to today. So I think I'll begin with Dr. Saji Gopinath. He's the first VC of Kerala University of Digital Science, Innovation and Technology. Welcome to the show, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, sir.
I hope you are able to hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can. You're right.
Good morning.
Okay, so COVID has upended all our lives.
Good morning, eminent panelist.
Yes, sir. So we were talking about COVID. COVID has upended all our lives. Challenges we faced, work culture has changed, remote working is embraced, digitization has accelerated. Women are exploring work from home opportunities because we know everybody is working from home right now. But since vaccination is around the corner, this is going to change. So, sir, can you take us through what is the future picture for us? So what are the changes? Definitely life has changed. So is this change going to stay, or what is that we have to expect now?
Good morning. And at the outset, let me congratulate Channel IM for organizing this very fantastic theme, because we know that we are all undergoing disruption to the COVID. But like what Paulo Coelho said some time back, not all storms actually come to disrupt your life. Actually, some comes to clear your path. I think for women, especially qualified experts, women, I think this COVID is actually a storm which has come to clear the challenges, which many times limited the ability for the people to express themselves, to use their talent to the extent possible. Let me speak about that a little bit. We know that if you speak in Kerala, and this is true in the other parts of India also, there is a paradox which happens. In Kerala, this paradox is much more evident. We know that if you take this state, we have a high amount of women literacy. Not only high amount of women literacy, even the women's participation in higher education, if you look at the gross enrollment ratio, is at par or even better than men. And even in the technical education, you see that it is almost around 42%, which is one of the highest in the country compared to the men. That's so basically you have a very highly qualified workforce, women force available. But the paradox comes is that if you look at the participation of this in the context of in various type of jobs. So the recent survey says that the women participation in the state is only around 23%. And in fact, one of the eminent panelists, Ms. Saundarya, will be speaking about this. And the Avtar study shows that the entry level is only around 27% of women, even when your education levels are very high. So this is a question we need to ask. Why you have a large number of women who are qualified, who are not getting into a career, into a major thing as such. So there are many reasons for that. And you know that, and here we are not speaking about people who have taken a break. If you take a person who have taken a break, and Ms. Saundarya was working on this area for quite some, and her reports actually gives a huge amount of insights on that. And I'm sure that she'll be giving a lot of real insight on that. And those things actually tell us a very, very interesting challenge that women are facing in their corporate career. And I was going through one of the studies for another project. The point is that only 5% of the women who join finally get into the top of the funnel. Not because they're not capable, but there are substantial amount of challenges which is happening. Now, I believe that the COVID has actually removed many of these obstacles. So sometime back at Startup Mission, we were actually trying to speak to corporates and telling that the remote working is actually a way for many of the people. We were actually looking at how women can actually get into a gig economy in a big way. But then the response from the corporates, barring a few, was very, very low, because they never expected that you can actually deliver the same level of quality, the same level of efficiency when you are working from a distance. Maybe some companies are exceptions, but a large number of them did not believe in that. Even though the statistics says that the companies are actually moving into the gig economy in a big way. But today, the just last 6 or 7 months, that things has completely changed. We know that today companies are really willing to look at remote working. You must have read that yesterday, Mr. Sundar Pichai said that Google is going to continue this even up to September 2021. And I'm sure that this is going to extend it even further. So there is a different level of challenge which women were facing earlier, because our work space conventionally was centralized in some locations. So you may centralize in Bangalore, or you may centralize in Hyderabad, or you may centralize in Chennai or in Kochi, and your person who is little far off will have a challenge of actually moving to that place. And even today we know that it should not be the way, but the mobility challenges, etc., are still there in our society, which we cannot really wish away. Now, all those things are actually now getting changed. And for the first time, you are actually saying that the remote work is almost as efficient as what it is being happening at the other end. And we don't have the real data, but the anecdotal evidence says that the women who work in the remote is actually doing much more productive than the men who are working on a remote manner. So this is the first point. The second point is that in this period, we found that many things which we thought that they're only physically possible are actually being increasingly dematerialized, increasingly turning into digital. Education is a good example. We never expected that we can have a classroom, or for that matter, this meeting. We never expected that we could have same amount of efficiency of a meeting if we are looking at it in a very remote manner. So many things which are conventionally we believe that can be physical are actually becoming digital. You don't have to actually have the conventional way where the employee, workspace, everything is in the same location. That is gone. So now it is actually split. So this is a big second trend which is actually becoming important. The third thing, I'll stop with the third thing. And the third thing is that there is a substantive change from the large to the small. You are now speaking about moving from a large format to small formats. We are speaking about formats which are going to work at a very high level efficiency at a smaller level as such. These three trends, whether the COVID is going or not, or even after the COVID period, is going to continue. So this removes a substantial amount of obstacles, because we always thought that the work can be delivered only between 9 to 5 or a particular period of time. We never expected that work content is more important than the work timing as such. So the flexibility, when you are managing a family, when you have a small child, you may have to actually adjust your work accordingly, which was not allowed when you are working in an organized, centralized workspace. But this new world has actually changed that. But having said that, if you wanted to capture those opportunities of more dematerialized world, the more opportunities which are coming in, it's important that we need to actually have a different level of skill sets to be developed. And that skill sets can be in 2-3 different levels. One, of course, is on your technical skills, on the type of work you do, whichever be the work you do. The second is you are now working remotely, you are working independently, you are actually have a delivery time which you are setting and to do it. So a substantial amount of behavioral change moving from an organizational structure to an independent structure has to be done. And third, of course, you may also have to do some of the things which a conventional organization takes care of. So if these three things being taken care of, if these skills have been done, my belief is that the She Power can actually be launched substantially. And maybe 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line, we will say that from 24% work participation, we now have 84% work participation among the women. So that, I think, is something which we need to strive at. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you so much. That is so heartwarming to hear that women are getting more opportunity, and COVID has been a blessing for us. So I'll come back to you a little bit later. Before that, let me go to Dr. Saundarya. She's the founder president of Avtar Career Creators. Ma'am, you have been championing the cause of career re-entry opportunities for women for over a decade. So women normally take a career break after marriage, motherhood, or relocating to some other place. So what is your experience in this? What are the challenges that women face while opting a career re-entry?
Okay. Thank you, Anjana, and it's an absolute pleasure being here. Congratulations to the She-Power organizers for the way in which this particular conference and this entire series of activities has been planned. Nisha, great work. Very proud to be a fellow IVLP alumni along with you. And Professor Saji, it was fantastic listening to your words, and thank you so much for highlighting the work that we do at Avtar in terms of bringing women back into the workplace. So the question, Anjana, if I were to take it, clearly what you asked me is, what are the challenges faced by women when they are attempting a re-entry into the workplace? Now, I just want to divide the challenges into 4 categories, and I will begin with the first category, which is essentially the kind of jobs that are available for women who have taken a break and who are ready to re-enter the workplace. Now, when we began pioneering this concept, when we began speaking to organizations, it was way back in 2005. So it's 15 years now since we started talking about second careers for women. And the first time that we were really successful in getting a company to say that, okay, let's experiment with this particular category. You mean to say that you will give us women professionals who have taken breaks in career, but they will still do the job as well as anybody who has not taken a break. So let's go ahead. That was actually Standard Chartered Bank. And when we began working with them, we realized that first of all, organizations have to be open to hiring women who return after the break. So the first challenge is the mindset of the organization that you are going to apply for? Is that mindset an open one? Is that organization going to give you time of day when you write to them, when you send your email with your profile and you mention that you're on a break? One way in which every woman professional who's looking to re-enter the workplace can actually be assured of reaching the right organizations is if you were to simply Google best companies for women in India. And you will come across a link which actually has organizations that have made it a practice and which work with us, which work with Avtar, to have a separate career track for women professionals who are re-entering the workplace. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, what else does prevents or is a sort of a challenge for women who want to re-enter the workplace? It is about skilling. It's about their own level of skills. In many forums, whenever I've addressed women professionals, I've always mentioned that every woman, in order to rise to the fullest of her potential, needs a combination of both strategic skills and hard domain skills. Now, in fact, I will even place strategic skills one level above the hard domain skills, because the strategic skill can get you into a job where you can pick up the hard domain skills, but things are fast changing now, especially post-COVID. Whenever organizations are looking at hiring large numbers of women, and I must share with you that at this point of time at Avtar, we are partnering with 3 or 4 really large organizations that have given us mandates to the tune of 500 and 1,000 of women professionals which they hope to hire. And you can in fact find more information about this at www.myavtar.com. That's myavtar.com. Now, what do these organizations look for? When they are looking to hire such large numbers of women professionals, what are they looking for? They want to see a demonstration of the skills, in the sense they want you to show during the interview, during the test, during their assessment, how good you are with your domain skills. So it's very important for women to constantly upskill themselves, to know where they stand with regard to the expertise as far as that skill is concerned, and to actually know just about anything that's happening in that space. If you are in the space of digital marketing, do you know what are the latest cutting edge skills that are actually available out there? If you are in the space of content writing, do you know what are the cool things that people are today doing in order to make their content more effective? So this can apply to both women who seek part-time, flexi-time jobs, as well as women who seek full-time jobs that lead to a career trajectory. So the second point is, are you really investing in your skilling? The third point, so if you have taken a break, and we have actually interacted with women. We have 3.5 lakh women in our database, in the network. Women who have had progressive careers, women have taken breaks in careers, women from across the country, across a variety of different verticals. Now the thing is, if you've taken a break, and the break could extend from, say, as little as, say, a year, 2 years, go on till almost 18 years. During that break, you actually kind of change your cognitive persona. You become a different person, and your priorities shift. And more importantly, that confidence which you probably had, when you were working in your early career stage, that kind of takes a backseat. So the most important thing that I'd want second career women, or women who want to return after a break, especially, for instance, you had COVID, and it was a disaster of the highest proportion. Now, if after that disaster, and probably as a result of it, maybe you lost your job, or maybe an offer that was made to you got rescinded, whatever it is, if you are looking at coming back into the workplace, one of the most important things that you should definitely develop is your own confidence. And to develop that confidence, the first thing you have to do is to actually put to practice whatever you have learned in your career before. So developing that confidence, interacting with people on social media, attracting mentors who can help you, guide you, this becomes very, very essential. And that is the third thing that you have to keep in mind. The fourth thing that I would say is, today, it's a world of networking. It's a world where everyone is connected with everybody else. And you will always find that 6 degrees of separation from you to whoever you want to connect. That's absolutely possible. I find a lot of women who believe that maybe they need extra help, support. Yes, platforms like She Power are there. There are several other forums which help women. But I believe you are the best and most effective support for yourself. Unless you determine that you want that job, unless you display that career intentionality, which comes from doing everything that needs to be done, including managing the stakeholders at home, including managing children, including managing your spouse, parents-in-law, if you live in a joint family like me. So it is very, very important that you make all those preparations in a win-win scenario, in a win-win method, and display that career intentionality. You will be your biggest support, and you will rise to the fullest of your potential. So those were the 4 points I wanted to share. Thank you, Anjana, for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll come back to you later, but that was a very confidence-boosting talk. It gives so much of hope. So coming back to Dr. Saji, since I know you have to leave a little bit early, what I would want to know from you is the reskilling opportunities that we have. government have so many initiatives. And during the COVID time also, there had been plenty of online courses and things like that. And COVID has brought up some changes in the infrastructure, IT infrastructure or social infrastructure. So could you please take us through all those things?
Thank you for actually putting that question and giving me this opportunity now. Because unfortunately, I had to leave around 11:45. So you're right that you're right that the government is actually now seriously looking at this as a space at all levels. You know that the women entrepreneurship has been supported by state as well as central government, and even the government of India has started a startup mission was one of the parts. We were looking at how do we actually motivate people, women, to start up entrepreneurship activities. But when it comes specifically to the skilling, in the state, we have agencies like ICT Academy, we have agencies like IC Force, which primarily help people to skills themselves into the modern digital world. Today we know that the digital is actually into almost every field. So you're not really speaking about the skills on programming, but we are looking at how do you actually use, let's say, digital technologies if you're a good.
So did we lose those? It seems there is a connectivity issue with Dr. Saji. So maybe we'll wait for a moment. Okay, so we'll come back to the discussion. So maybe we'll wait for Dr. Saji. So meanwhile, I would like to come to Shruti. Shruti Srivastava, you are a person who have diversified experience. Okay, I think Dr. Saji is back. So maybe since he doesn't, yes, sir. So please continue.
You're able to see me or not?
Yes, sir, we can see you.
Sorry. So I'll just quickly.
We just lost you in between, yeah.
Quickly complete. So that is from the skilling part of it, at least in Kerala, we have two agencies which are primarily looking at women who are coming back to the career, as well as women who are going to go into the flexi workspace. That's both ICT Academy and IC Force. They are primarily working on that. Now, the Kerala government also has planned, and it's actually in the early stages of implementation, something called work near homes. So basically, as I said earlier, sometimes what happened is you may not have, you may have difficulties in working at home, and you also have difficulties in going to a very far off place. So instead of that, you are trying to create workspaces, women-friendly workplaces, which with proper security and other aspects closer to your home, so that you may be working in a company, you may be working in a company in Bangalore, or you may be working in a company in Seattle, but you actually work in a place very close to your place. So such places, such sort of a scheme is actually being announced sometime back by government at the time of COVID, and I think the activities are actually going to start on that, where they are trying to create this sort of a work near home spaces where people will be able to work on that. So these measures on the infrastructure and this is going to be an important element. And in Kerala, there is also a very important thing which is happening, which is called Kerala Fiber Optic Network. And this is and similar thing is happening in other part of India also, called BharatNet. But in Kerala, this fiber optic network, Kerala Fiber Optic Network is going to connect every village with a high power internet connection. So the advantage is that your basic challenges which limits you. Now you are in a place where you have problems of internet connectivity, or you have places where power connectivity, those things are going to be of the past. So you will be able to work from whichever place in a flexible model, leveraging on this infrastructure which is being put, and hopefully this year itself, that is in this financial year itself, K-Fund will be implemented. And this will actually make a big game changer. So as I said earlier, it is not that people may have to go to a workplace come to you, workplace come closer to you, and there are government skilling support, then there are NGOs who are also supporting that. With that skilling, with this infrastructure, and with the company's mindset of change, positively to look at flexi workforce, look at workforce which have got skills to be employed from anywhere in the world, there is going to be a sea of change which we are expecting. So that is primarily where I would like to stop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. So it was commuting is a major problem for women. So normally when we all look for jobs, we prefer somewhere near our house. So this is that we personally I'm looking forward to. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us, for planning your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it was wonderful to listen to Dr. Saji Gopinath. So now let's move on to Shruti Srivastava. Shruti, you have more than a decade of diversified experience spanning across multiple domains and industry verticals. So you have instilled a mature collaborative software development methodology to improve quality and accelerate product delivery. So what is your story? Please take us through your journey.
Hi, Anjana. Thanks for the invitation. And I would like to thank Nisha and you for giving me this platform to share the dais with senior professionals like Gopinath sir and Dr. Saundarya. So to begin with about my career. So as soon as I completed my BTech, I started my career as a software developer. So as I said, I had to shift my career depending on due to the changes in the nature of industry, and the demands were dynamic in nature. So I shifted my career to a quality analyst. And then understanding the bigger picture helps me to visualize the picture, since I've been into multiple roles. Then there I understood, and my seniors realized the importance of upskilling me. And then the company, my organization and my managers, they helped me grow and learn new technologies and new softwares, across many other areas. So they identified that my analytical skills are comparatively much better, and I would be a good business analyst. And then as I grew, I learned the importance of upskilling, and then I got enrolled for higher education, and I completed my MBA in project management. So this helped me in understanding the ethics, the basics of any business across the different industries, So by this, what I would like to say is being into one role is not enough in the current scenario. So if you are learning different technologies, if you are building your skills across different areas, you have to grow your brand. You have to learn the business technology, technical skills. You have to learn many other skill sets like business skills, technical skills, data skills, and that could span across engineering and data science, product, finance. There are many things to learn here. So being just a business analyst is not enough. So a business analyst needs knowledge across many areas to interact with professionals, to interact with your seniors, to interact with the product owners and the stakeholders. So all this requires upgradation and knowledge on many areas. So what I would like to say is, upskilling with specialization is very important. Learn the importance of each role. And I learned about the marketing, finance projects, and it really helped me understand the responsibilities of a project manager. And because of this, I was later encouraged to be a agile project manager. So now I play multiple roles. I am a business analyst. I work as a agile project manager. And then initially I was working on with some 15 to 20 members in a co-location, but now my team consists of more than 40 people, and then they are located across different geographical locations. So it has helped me know the challenges as a professional in their role. And then knowing this, it helps me now analyze, estimate the work, and with all the which is understanding what the resources and what see, I've been a software developer, I've been an analyst, I've been a business analyst, I've been a quality analyst, and now as a agile project manager. So it happens sometimes that we don't understand what others are facing. So say for example, a software engineer, a software developer gives his estimation, and he says that I would be able to complete my work within 4 hours. And sometimes with the requirement, we need to push them completing the work within 2 hours. So in such scenarios, it is easy to understand like what are the challenges he is facing. So this is very important. I mean, this being into multiple roles, this has been advantage to me. And then we come to a understanding that okay, let's take this much time and complete this task. And with this, I'm able to get the deliverables on time, because the team is we come to an understanding, and then we are able to deliver the requirements and what the stakeholders are expecting on time without a delay in project deliverables. So this is what I would like to say. That what identify the key strengths. I mean, one should identify your key strengths, and if you let your seniors know like what are your career interests, then they may also help you grow in your career. And fortunately, I've been into certain organizations where my seniors, my managers have been very helping, and they did understand what my strengths are, what my skill sets are, and they did help me in growing in my career today where I am.
Thank you, Shruti. Let me just go over to Dr. Saundarya. So what I would want to know is, COVID is something that has changed all our lives. So of course, as you have said earlier, there had been an impact. So, but I would want to know a little bit more about it. COVID made remote working a possibility. So a good number of women has embraced that. So is this work from home going to stay? It's going to stay for good, or what are the ways that we can exploit this? So we can consider this as a blessing in disguise. So do you think, when regarding women, the post-pandemic scenario is going to be totally different from what it had been earlier? Because you are a person who had been helping women to re-enter into their workforce. So what do you think? What have you seen the changes? How could you put that?
Okay. Thank you, Anjana. So what actually happened during the COVID scenario? You had organizations that had to overnight kind of shift into a remote working mechanism. And obviously not every organization was able to do that. There were only a few organizations that could, do that seamlessly. And many organizations actually struggled to make this transition because remote working was not known to them previously at all. Now, as they were making the shift, they had to also assess the kind and type of jobs that they were looking at in terms of which of those jobs could actually be converted into their flexible counterparts and which of those jobs could not be done. Now, it makes me really sad to say this, but if you look at the type of jobs that are there and you look at the skill level of those jobs, you find that women actually occupy much of the lower order skill jobs. And you will find that in many industries, that very disposable front line of jobs is what is actually occupied by women. Now, so what happened? A lot of women lost their jobs. What was earlier a 27% women's workforce participation, including, this number 27% includes agriculture, includes farm, includes construction, blue collar, white collar, everything. In that dropped to 21%. And if you look at urban women's workforce participation in India today, you have only 12 women out of every 100 people, only 12 women are employed. So this is a very, very tough scenario. And a lot of it was caused due to the sudden, transition that was brought about by COVID. So what are the questions that emerge from here? The first one question that emerges is, shouldn't organizations be flexi ready? Shouldn't they already have anticipated, things like this? And I'm inclined to say that, to some extent, yes, organizations could have anticipated that when you have such large scale disasters, such large scale catastrophes that happen, organizations have to be prepared from a business continuity perspective. Now, if you look at the Working Mother and Avtar, best companies for women in India, you will find that every single one of those 100 best companies, they were able to actually transition into remote working in a matter of days or weeks. Why is this? This is because each of these organizations had already built a framework of flexibility, had already built a framework of remote working, and that really helped them when they had to do it, to run BAU, business as usual work on a day-to-day basis. So the first question, of course, is, can every organization be like that? Now, in my opinion, I believe that if small and medium businesses, and I mean many of the people from in this today's audience, the entrepreneurs and the small business owners in today's audience, I would suggest that this aspect of remote working, if you are able to embrace it really well, and you're able to look at a lot of the jobs in terms of what they are actually contributing, and can that contribution be done over the phone, can it be done over the computer and so on, then you would be saving a whole lot of money in terms of infrastructure. And not only that, you would be able to employ women professionals across, just like how Professor Saji mentioned. You don't even need to stay in that particular location in order for you to work there. You can stay anywhere. You can stay near places in tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns where you have family support. And from those places where you have family support, if you are able to get a good quality talent that can work in small and medium businesses, then that would be, in my view, the biggest positive outcome out of COVID in India, Anjana.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Absolutely. So let me go across to Sharmila Sundaram. Sharmila Sundaram is the CEO of Corefactors. Corefactors is in B2B SaaS space. Sharmila, how do you see the impact of COVID-19 in sales and marketing? Acquiring new customers would not have been as easy as before. So retention would be very important. So what are the lessons that you learned? For some SaaS companies, I just read somewhere that remote working turned to be a boon. Like they were earning like anything. So there was more demand. So what is your experience? So tell me about your journey.
Yeah. So thank you for having me here, Anjana and Nisha. So congratulations to ShePower. Yes, absolutely, Anjana. Like initially when COVID started, right? Businesses were reluctant to spend money. So it affected our sales in April and May as well, right? Good thing is that the businesses started to look at the alternative ways for doing businesses. So they were looking at online tools to make sure that businesses are running and they can manage the workforce remotely. So as Dr. Saundarya was mentioning, it was not very easy for the businesses to make that transition. So it was very difficult because everyone was working from office, and suddenly to change that entire environment into online was very difficult, right? And everyone started working from home, at least in B2B space, they were working from home. And what happens is that during the lockdown, initial days of lockdown, everyone parallelly lockdown has given businesses more time to analyze products that can help them, right? So that is something which is a very good thing which happened. They were analyzing a lot of tools, and they were analyzing a lot of methods for transition. Basically, when you take in Corefactors, what we did is that we understood the importance of the customer behavior, and we analyzed the so-called ideal customer profile, right? And accordingly, we have changed our marketing strategy. So that is very important, right? So each and every businesses, they know their target audience, and they know who is their ideal customer profile, and accordingly the businesses started to change the target audience, and they were really able to that is something like I feel which is very important. So once they did that, they changed the marketing strategy, and obviously it not only helped us to acquire more customers, as you rightly mentioned. B2B sales is it's like a boon, because we are all working from home, and all the companies out there, they need some solution, which is a cloud solution to manage the workforce remotely, right? So with respect to our space, B2B space, yes, it's like a kind of a boon. We got to a lot of customers onboarded for a lot of other companies like us in the CRM space, marketing automation space, maybe HR management. So there are a lot of spaces which got a really which has seen a high percentage in our sales. So even that has helped our sales team to acquire more customers by understanding the customer behavior. We have changed the marketing strategy, as I mentioned earlier. So earlier, we used to have the one more important thing is that before COVID, we used to have face-to-face customer meetings, right? And at least we need 2 customer meetings to close the deal. So this has really changed a lot in past 6 months. And now our sales team has learned to make online selling. It's not only us, a lot of businesses out there, they are learning to make an online selling. So I think, this is something which is a very good change, and they can, save a lot of effort without meeting the clients, right? So COVID has helped us to reduce the time and effort with respect to customer acquisition by going out there, traveling, fortnight travel, and everything. So I think now we are saving a lot of time on online selling, and we are concentrating on that particular time in adding more values to the customers. At the same time, we are retaining more customers. So I think with respect to the sales and marketing domain, or with respect to the B2B sales, I would say, yes, obviously, with the women workforce, there are a lot of job losses which has happened. But at this scenario, B2B space in sales and marketing domain, so the products like CRM, HR management, or I mean, what I will call marketing automation. It's a kind of a boon for us. And the past 6 months, the growth for every businesses out there has been really great. Not see, because like most of the Indian SMEs are trying to sell online. So that is an important thing. That is an important change which has happened. So people are like, when I was talking with my fellow entrepreneurs, so they were also telling me like, Sharmila, like, I mean, everyone wants to sell online. Even one of the website developer, when I was discussing with, they are a leading website development company in India, and they were saying we are receiving lot and lot of inquiries because they wanted, every companies wanted to sell online. So I'm talking at the very small and medium businesses, maybe micro enterprises in India. So they also started online. It's a very good change which has happened now. I think with this, like I mean, people really can get more jobs as well. Like once they are, I mean, more and more opportunity for online sales is opening up. Obviously, a lot of options. I mean, lot of things for women sales will open up. Anjana, this is what I want to register here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sharmila. So, getting back to Dr. Saundarya. We have seen that COVID was not all that bad, considering women workforce. So I would just want to know the activities of Avtar. Actually, did COVID impact in any way? Did COVID affect the activities of Avtar in any way?
What an interesting question, Anjana. Thank you for asking that. So Avtar is a 20-year-old diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting company. And we have had experiences of dealing with 3 such, huge crises during our history. So the first thing happened soon after we set up shop. December 3rd, 2000 was when Avtar got started. And within few months, we had the big .com bust. At that time, the .com industry was like really going gung-ho. And then suddenly, it just went bust. And a lot of our clients were .com companies. So that was a big challenge, and we had to rally and figure out and see how to, kind of pivot our thinking to suit a world where .com wasn't the biggest thing anymore. So that was the first time. Then we had in 2007 and 8, we had the subprime crisis. And during the subprime crisis, which actually took place in the US, but it had its effect around the globe. And you had many organizations that folded up, many companies belonging to the banking and financial services sector, which actually just went kaput. So that happened. And again, we had several clients of ours who were part of, who were affected by this. Again, we had to kind of quickly change, regroup, look at the way in which we were doing our work, and, see what corrective actions had to be taken and so on. Then you had the global recession of 2013-14, where you had everywhere around the globe, there was a recession, and this caused jobs to shrink. It caused markets to, to become smaller, and it was a very difficult time at that point of time. Again, Avtar kind of, relooked at the way in which we did work. How can we take our message even more effectively? How do we not get impacted by what was happening outside? So this, the COVID pandemic, in a manner of speaking, is the 4th large catastrophe, global, challenge that we are actually facing. So I would say, in a manner of speaking, that Avtar kind of, was well prepared for this. We actually made the transition into remote working in a matter of hours. We are a small team. We are a 70-member team. But to make the transition in a matter of hours was a fantastic thing, which our IT department was able to do very quickly. And once we had, ported all our work into the flexible format, then what remained was to see how our work in the space of diversity, equity, and inclusion could still be relevant to organizations, in the space of flexible working, in the space of diversity, equity, and inclusion, the whole thing. Now, Sharmila made a very interesting mention. She said that, soon after pandemic hit, every organization went into a shell. They were not ready to spend. They were afraid to spend. And yes, the same thing happened with our clients too. We had a roster of more than 300 clients, and several hundred of these clients were with us for a very long period. They were with us for 10 years, 15 years, 18 years, and so on. But we found that when the pandemic hit, nobody knew what the outcome would be. Everybody was afraid. Everybody looked at the world and they could not figure out what was happening. Nobody could predict a way out of this. It was complete pandemonium at that point of time. So for us, what it meant was that the work that we did, we actually do work in 5 spaces, Anjana. We have an offline recruitment practice, which is diversity recruitment, where we hire women, we hire member of the LGBTQ community, we hire people with disabilities, second career women, of course, which is something we pioneered in India, and also people who are army veterans, who have done a short service commission or who worked in the army, then taken a break, entered into civilian society, and now want to take their career forward. So we do hiring of all of these categories of underrepresented talent pools. So that's one piece. The second thing that we do is online diversity hiring. We in fact have India's only diversity job portal that's called myavatar.com. And that is a job portal that actually talks to people who are underrepresented. In fact, we have many hundreds of women who have posted their profiles in the portal because they have been able to get jobs very quickly, flexible jobs which they can do working from home for businesses that are across the country. For instance, there is this business in Delhi which has actually hired someone from Pune very recently for a position. So this is the kind of work that's the second thing we do. The third is diversity experience, which is basically events and conferences. The fourth is diversity enablement, which is a lot of workshops and training programs. And the fifth is diversity strategy, where we actually help organizations create a diversity strategy for their business. So each of these products had to be kind of pivoted. We had to look at its relevance in the current scenario where there is a pandemic, where there is job loss everywhere. I mean, when you have so many thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs, is a company actually going to be in a state of mind to look at diversity, equity, inclusion, and all of these cultural aspects? To our surprise, we found that the clientele that we were serving, the organizations that we were catering to, they were ready to do that even during the pandemic. So quite honestly, while we definitely took a hit in revenue and we definitely had, to do several internal adjustments in order for us to manage our cash flow, manage the way in which we would, take our business forward, I would say that in the last few months, we have actually bounced back to a very large extent and doing work even more than what we were doing during the pre-COVID period. So that's a bit of a long answer, but that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, it is at the time of challenges that we explore and we find new ways to beat that. Okay. Now coming to Shruti, actually, we are talking about work from home, and normally, as women, normally like women has this. There had been this digitization. So this digitization is accelerated during the time of COVID-19. So remote working is the in thing now. So this has addressed one of the most important challenges women had been facing. One is commuting and having a job in a nearby place, juggling with work-life balance and all this. So what do you think? How is the pandemic amplifying the opportunities for women in tech?
So, as Saundarya said, and it has been covered. Most of the top points have been covered by Saundarya, but then I would like to add, like, women have been disproportionately hurt by job losses during the pandemic. So if you see the statistics over internet, then as she said, there is a term called she session, he session, she session, recession, she session, and he session. So why this is called a she session is because majorly it is the women who were hit. And if like I did say, like I have in my previous question, I answered that I had to change a shift in my career. That was because it was during 2008 recession that I had to give up on my career, because with the mindset of the industry is that women don't need jobs. They do not need, they are comparatively, they need comparatively less money, and men are really required to work than women. So I was majorly hit because of this mindset. And during the 2008 and 2009 recession, it happened so that initially they started uh, they started firing women workforce first, and then later some middlemen, and then the higher professionals, people from higher management. It happened with many people, but then it started with females, I would like to say here. So it took me some time to get back to the career. If you see the current statistics as well, during this pandemic, it is about 11.5 million across women have lost their jobs, and compared to men, which is 9 million. Of course, both men and women have lost their jobs, but if you see, it is more of women. So now, but this crisis has actually come in as a boon. It is helping many women, I would say, because the crisis has placed, the new normal is favorable for women in joining the workforce. So the traditional mindset of organizations was like that we cannot work, the work from home is not flexible, there will be a communication gap. So there most of the females had to give up their career. I have seen in and around my circle where most of my colleagues had to give up because of their family commitments, and because they had to manage with their they had to move to different cities, considering their husband jobs. So they had to prefer others uh, others over their own career. So now with this pandemic, since the work is shifting from office to home, it is already shifted, and we have seen a tremendous change in the mindset of people, and what they used to think that work from home is not friendly, but now it is like they do not want us to come back. Many people and most of the organizations have already declared that we will be continuing this going forward, and only 20% of the workforce will be 20% of the employees will be working from office, or 20 to 25% people will be working from offices. So with this, I think it has given a good opportunity for a lot of women again. So large corporations are now consciously working towards increasing their workforce ratio, and are also seeing the benefits of upgrading their skills of the employees. So they are tying up, they are merging, they are just tying up with some, partnering with some e-learning platforms, and encouraging most of the people to upgrade their skills. and also helping them financially by reimbursing those the cost involved in upskilling there. But while all this is happening, the tech industry as a whole is benefiting with the policy changes, with shift in workplace practices and hiring, and then the new normal is also presenting opportunities for organizations to hire more women. One thing what I would like to say is what we need is a shift in mindset, and the policies that support and facilitate widespread adoption of this practice. Even now, there is something called micromanagement because they want to see whether the people are continuously, whether their employees are continuously working there or not. But if you really change your mindset and adopt and adapt certain ways where you encourage your team by understanding their requirements, by understanding their challenges, then definitely it will really help them overcome this mindset. So however, this new normal seems to be favorable for women joining back, and with I see I got to know about Avtar, and I would definitely like to encourage many of my female friends who couldn't get back to their careers because of all this the opportunities which were not there earlier. I hope with the platform we have, Avtar platform, I think they would be able to get back to their careers. And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Shruti.
So, I mean, this is what I would like to say, that the mindset that women have to work as well as, well, yeah, this is also very important. See, in a country like India, especially, there is one typical mindset that is that the woman should have to work single-handedly and manage the home to this has to be changed. So if people, if they are co-working, if they are in a family where both husband and wife, and if others are also working, it would be good if they can share their work and encourage each other in getting back to their careers or working and reskilling, upskilling. So that would really be encouraging and help women grow in their careers, and possibly, since we know the strength of women, it is possible that we can overpower anyone in this world.
Yes, Shruti, no doubt in that. We can overpower. Okay, so listening to you, what I feel is the most important thing is the most positive thing happened is the change in the traditional mindset. So hooray for that. Women can work, they can do all these things, and no doubt in that. So let's hope that, as you have said, the household activities and yes, men will also be taking a part of in that, and then there will be this mutual, what do you call, encouraging and all that. Let's hope that will happen. So now, okay, we need to go for a short break. But when we come back, I would want to speak more about the upskilling and reskilling, because that's very important. Because women, when they come back to workforce after a break, there need to be such platforms where they can utilize this to upgrade themselves. So let's have a chat on that after the break. So quickly, let's have a break.
Sure.
She Power Virtual Hackathon and Summit in association with US Department of State, Alumni Ties and World Learning. Title sponsor Swad Food Products.
കീടനാശിനി വിമുക്തമായ സ്വാദ് അടാട്ടുമട്ടയരി.
നല്ല ഭക്ഷണം തന്നെയാണ് നല്ല മരുന്ന്.
Execution partner, Kerala Startup Mission, powered by channelim.com, supported by Gender Park, Carve Startup Labs and Geeks Up. Event support, Green Media.
Welcome back. So let me come to Dr. Saundarya. We always want women in empowerment. So considering the women re-entering the career, and when we speak of reskilling and upskilling, what do you think is the opportunities we have now? And do all the women are in a position that they can access these facilities? What is your experience in this?
Yeah. So where are we currently? Where are we in terms of what's happening in the world around us? So you would find that we just finished one of the most, or rather we are about to finish one of the most turbulent years ever seen in human history, in human memory at this point of time. Anybody who's alive at this point of time has never seen anything like this, like the COVID pandemic. So it's something so new, so different, so challenging. I mean, you might argue that it was man-made or it was a natural disaster, whatever it is. The truth is that it has just come in and wiped out a great deal of whatever was before. Now, in a summit like this, where we are talking about reskilling, where we are talking about, empowering women, what is the need of the hour? Now, I'm just going to give you an example of how we can pick up a particular, thought and just take it to its conclusion. One of the things, and many of the panelists have spoken about this already, one of the things that COVID has very successfully done is to change the orientation or change the mindset of various organizations and decision makers in those organizations in terms of saying that business can actually be done in a very different way, which is the virtual way. So a lot of the business processes that an organization looks at have been changed to its virtual counterpart. Now, let me just take a typical example of, for instance, an FMCG company. Now, if you take an FMCG company has several business processes within. It has a marketing process, it has a sales process, it has a production process, it has a distribution process, and it has trade and retails process, and it has an accounts and finance process. Now, if you take all of these processes, other than the production process, which actually requires machinery, it requires that you are actually in a place where there is a certain type of quality control, where there is certain types of process automation that happens, where you have to actually be there to do a lot of that work. All the other business processes, the marketing process, even the sales process, for instance, distribution again will require that you have certain implements which have to be done in a particular way. The finance process. So all of these processes have undergone transformation into their virtual counterpart to the extent of almost 100%. Take the HR process. So a business will obviously have HR. And in the HR process, what are all the different aspects which are there in it? You have hiring, you have onboarding, you have training and skilling, you have all the statutory compliances, you have salary payment, collection or calculation of what is the payable for that individual, leave management, all of these things. Then your entire HR module, the entire HR process has all of these very many different aspects to it. Now, the point is, during the pandemic, when everybody was forced into their homes and when, the entire thing was about how can I work remotely and how can I make this happen remotely, each of these processes was converted into its virtual counterpart. Interviews began happening online, over Zoom, over Teams, over Google and everything. How do you do background verification checks? How do you do document checks? Those started happening virtually. How do you do onboarding? You started getting virtual onboarding that was happening. Similarly, how do you do the induction? A person is new into the company, they will have to undergo a period of induction. So how does that induction happen? All of this became virtual. Similarly, if you take the marketing process, any brainstorming, any product positioning discussions, any strategy discussions, any content creation, any type of advertisement or any interaction with your ad agency, everything was done virtually. Now, this means, so if you have a business in which maybe 4 out of 6 processes or 4 out of 7 processes have already been converted into their virtual counterparts, then it means there is a need for improving skills for new jobs that could be created, because organizations are now pivoting into a status of doing a lot of things online. Yes, there will be 3 or 4 business processes, like for instance, like I said, production, like distribution, or maybe certain types of, the last mile connectivity selling, where you actually have to go to that petty shop or that, small mom and pop store and you actually sell. Other than those few very specific areas, everything else now is virtual. So as far as skilling is concerned, I would suggest that if you are a fresher, if you are a student and you're doing your MBA or you're doing your graduation and you are, looking at what kind of jobs I can look at, please look at jobs, keeping in mind that these could have been jobs which were performed face to face before, but now have moved into a virtual scenario. And going forward, there is always a possibility, keeping efficiency in mind, that these jobs, some of these jobs could well remain virtual forever. They may never be jobs that, have to come to the office and do at all. The office may become a hub for, interactions, brainstorming, where people come together, they are creative, they have those discussions, all of that happens, but the actual work gets done at home. You have those discussions, you interact with people face to face, you go back and do, your thing at home. So that means your entire set of skills have to undergo a rejig, keeping in mind the virtual world. How much better are you at managing time, for instance? Is that a skill that's going to be of great importance if you're working in today's world, the post-pandemic world? Similarly, how good are you in communication? See, today, nobody has the luxury of being able to communicate to you physically, where you can see their body language, you can see the way they move around, and all of those things. Everything is now confined to a screen. And within that screen, you will have to, make your story. So do you have what it takes to be able to communicate effectively on a screen? Similarly, we were speaking about gig working, about gig economy. The entire thing around gig economy is that it has actually come to life after the COVID pandemic, simply because many businesses realized that there are certain parts of their jobs which can be completely outsourced. And that person doesn't even need to stay on the rolls of the company, and people can just do their jobs, that chunk, that small bit of that job, and deliver it beautifully and go away. So I think it calls for not just a mindset change, it calls for a complete sort of, reassessment of what skills do we need. Anybody who's doing an MBA today, anybody who's doing a graduation today, I think you as students, you need to really ask those tough questions to yourself and to the people who are, your mentors, to say that, are all these skills that I'm learning today, are they preparing me for a job which could either be flexible and therefore work from home, therefore remote working, or it could be performed in the office atmosphere? Do I have skills which are suited for both? So that would be, in my view, the most important question that we have to ask, Anjana.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yes, since the work culture has changed, maybe some jobs may go obsolete. So definitely the need for reskilling is there. So coming to Sharmila, so what is the representation of women in B2B sales? Certain studies show that the changing sales environment that is favoring women. So could you take us through that, the representation of women before and after COVID in sales?
Sales. Yeah. So thank you, Anjana. So being a sales profession, I'm really happy to answer this question. And yes, so when you take in generic, I mean, before COVID, I'm just talking about a situation that is before COVID. So in generic, there is a thing like women are talkative and they are good decision makers, but still, most of the women are not preferring sales, right? Why? So there is a big why, because even though they have good skills like decision makings and good I mean, what to say, kind of capabilities that required for sales, but they are not preferring sales, right? So the important thing can be like unawareness. So one reason for lesser women in sales is that they don't realize that this is an extraordinary career, because from the childhood they have been said that you have to become a doctor or engineer, but they have not been said that you have to become a profession in sales, because the social expectations in India is also like that, because sales in India has always been as a job, or always seen as a job that are not fit for the what to say, women, that is a mold of a field work, so that like only men are tend to do that. And so this is something like which is a social expectations, and women are more I mean specified to do only in desk work, or what you call it as an office work, right? So that is a common perception that women are gifted only in role specific task, and they are not I mean capable of managing an individual or leading a team or meeting the targets in the sales, right? And even some women by themselves, they believe that they cannot juggle I mean really juggle between the sales and family, because sales need a lot of traveling, and obviously they need a family support. So this is like a kind of a perception, or maybe this is a truth I can say before COVID, right? So but that is a very sad thing also, because I can say the most first reason is that were really unaware of the extraordinary career. That is my strongest point here. And after COVID, right? So now what is happening in past 6 months, or what is going to happen? So some of the research like shown that like during COVID, like women are outperforming men, and also at the same time, like B2B sales landscape itself has been shifting in a way that favor women in the sales roles. That is a really good thing, which is really happening after COVID. And due to COVID, like remote selling using videos or other digital channels is changing the way we do sales in B2B. Right. I think with this change, the skills of women are also becoming more relevant in SaaS products or cloud services rather than one-time purchase. Right. So we need, importantly here, we need to note that the value doesn't comes from the initial sale, but customers benefit from renewals too, or customer or salesperson benefits from the renewals too. This particular trend has created a growth in number of customer success managers. So you can see in past 6 months, the CSM, right? Customer success managers are really growing up, and salespeople are really taking that role. I mean, the women are really succeeding in the CSM role by connecting, collaborating, and providing right solutions. So these are the capabilities of women's strength. So as per the career data sources also, that reports that at least 50%, at least 50 to 70% of CSMs are women. This is very, very important that in B2B sales, 50 to 70% of CSMs are women. It is a very big thing. So this is giving us and also in as per the April 2020 report, women were leading global customer success teams at the major tech companies like Oracle and Salesforce. This is a very happy news. And also, according to a recent report from Harvard Business Review, women are future of B2B sales. If we ensure gender diversity, female mentorship programs like She Power, or maybe Saundarya ma'am was mentioning like Avtar, or maybe Saundarya Connect, and also better coaching and more promotions for women. I think the B2B sales landscape, it will be like more women if we have these 4 things in place, Anjana. Yeah.
Okay, Sharmila, thank you so much for that. So I think we'll just take a break for some question and answer session, and then we'll continue the discussion. So I just found an interesting question on the chat. So Dr. Saundarya, it's for you, ma'am. So the question is from Akshaya. So Akshaya wants to know, what are the important areas women can focus after COVID for employment and going forward? Dr. Saundarya.
Thank you. I was trying to unmute myself and I was not able to. Yeah. So, well, like I just mentioned, it's a question of which is the area that you really want to build your career in. I mean, it's not as if, COVID has kind of completely sort of demolished everything that was there and we are, building afresh. Absolutely not. All the businesses that you see before COVID, many of them are still around. Most of them are still around. There are only a few businesses which did not have deep pockets, which did not have a very, specific strategy, or even some businesses which could not be performed, during the pandemic, like say a restaurant or, a cinema theater. Those you do find that, they are finding it extremely difficult to come back. But otherwise, the businesses remain the same. I mean, if you are passionate about communication, then you should find a role or a job which would, help you to fulfill that passion. If you are very good in sales, like we heard from the previous speaker, if you are interested in sales and in selling, I could not tell you that, it's one of the best careers that women can actually have, selling, because it's all about convincing. It's about, making sure that the other individual really takes into account what you have to offer. So, simply put, what I would tell you is, I think you would have assessed your skills, and I'm sure you know what you're good at. Are you good with numbers? Are you good with people? Are you a very creative individual? Are you a very process-oriented individual? There are jobs today for each of these skills. And you have to have the right combination of not only that passion which you have within yourself, but also an educational degree or, training, skill-based training, which helps you take this passion, convert it into a marketable employment in a job of your choice. So the only thing I would tell you is, like I mentioned about how today business processes have undergone transformation due to COVID, and many business processes which have pivoted now are saying that, we like this, we will just remain like this. We don't want to change back to the, the real world, the physical world. You have to be prepared that your skill is marketable both in the physical world and in the virtual world. That's all I would have to tell you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope Akshaya got the answer right. Yes, ma'am, there is one more question that is from Rahul. So I'll just read out. Rahul, ma'am, there are a lot of talent. Saundarya, ma'am, there are a lot of talented women around us who have big potential to go ahead in their career, yet they are unable to pursue career interest due to family pressure. What initiatives can be undertaken to create awareness among family members regarding the importance of career and how to bring those women back to employment industry? So this is more to an advice to the family members to give some encouragement, right, ma'am?
Rahul Jata Vedan, First of all, I must congratulate you on such a fantastic question. And I must say that you are a true male ally. From your name, Rahul, I presume you are a male. So I would, really congratulate you for the thought that you have, which is to be a true ally to women. Yes, you're absolutely right. Many women who have such fabulous potential, such great talent, they are unable to rise to the fullest of their potential because they do not have enabling environments at home. And a lot of this lack of enabling environment comes because people, they hold on to certain values which they believe is something that has to be taken forward to the next generation without understanding that the essence of many of those values were rooted in the time that those values were created, and they may not be relevant in the current scenario. I'm not talking about the basic good, human values of kindness or of charity or of, positive attitude, positive thinking. I'm not talking about those values. I'm talking about several things which have to be done in a particular way and which have to be, where we box in, people saying that this is the way things have to be done in this home. And, there is no freedom from that. So what has happened, and I'll give you the experience of many women who we have mentored. The transformation of family members is a very long process. It cannot happen overnight. If you want that relationship, if you want your family to be around you, and you want them to, you want your relationship with them, and you want to be part of that family, and you still want them to, be very different, then that's a very tough tightrope walk. So family members don't ever really change. But one of the things that you can do is you can demonstrate how intentional you are about your career. I'm talking to the women over here. This is a question asked by Rahul, and I'm now addressing my answer to the women. So every woman in this forum, if you are looking at, wanting to do something different, something bold, something that is extremely out of what your family has seen or done before, and you still want your family relationships, you want your mother and father to be happy with you, you want your in-laws to, be affectionate to you, you want your spouse to be happy with you, then the important thing is you have to stay intentional in your career. You have to show them that this is very important to you, that this is something that helps you, take your skills, bring them to a fruition, and show everybody that you are capable of doing that. And also communicate that while you are, interested in a career, you are also equally keen on maintaining these relationships that form part of that family structure. So it's a slow process. It's a process where you need to take those small steps one at a time, where you are able to kind of, do your thing, pursue that job, go into that career, but at the same time, have these long conversations with your family. Show them that, nothing is going to go wrong if you pursue your work, that you will still be the same kind of individual that you were, and you're taking the time to communicate all this and to make them understand because you want that relationship. So families take time in understanding, that you are career intentional, but you have to stay career intentional. You have to ensure that by good, powerful communication, by follow through of action. See, today, maybe, I've seen many young people.
Dr. Saundarya, I'm just interfering. Health Minister is waiting here. Minister of Health, Social Justice and Women and Child Development in Kerala, KK Shailaja, is here. Let's welcome Minister to She Power Summit, one of the two female ministers in this cabinet, very energetic and who always remain active in social and political life. Her relentless work in fighting the spread of novel coronavirus in the state hailed her as the coronavirus slayer by Vogue India, and she was named as the winner of the world's top 50 thinkers of COVID-19 age by UK-based Prospect magazine. Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, was the second place, and Minister Shailaja was also invited to speak at the United Nations Public Service Day, the only Indian to be invited this year. We welcome you, Minister, to She Power Summit. This is our second day discussing major challenges and seeking solutions for the critical issues women face in India. Your ideas and suggestions you would like to add, please.
Thank you very much. Respected dignitaries who are participating in this She Power Summit, first of all, I want to express my pleasure and thanks to you for inviting me to such a August gathering here. And you are discussing about the empowerment of women. You are conducting a hackathon and 3-day virtual summit for that. And I cannot hear your discussions because I am so busy because of this pandemic and the election just over, local self-body election just over in Kerala. And the pandemic is going on. It is a long drawn thing, COVID-19. And because of that, I cannot participate for a long time in this kind of summit and hear all the discussions raised by you. But I'm sure that you will discuss about the key points, what is the reason for the women who were downtrodden and why the women become the second sex or considering like that, and what is the point of action to the empower women throughout the world. I think you are discussing such kind of things. Actually, the women's issue, when we discuss the women issue, related to the social status or social status of the community, social system, what kind of social system is existing. In the previous days, in landlordism, when landlordism is there, women suffered very much because of that patriarchal society, and even the marriage customs and also that kind of things are deadly against women. There is no independency to choose their partner and like that. And also the women education system is also like that. No one were ready to educate the girl childs in 1940s or 50s. They should have to work inside home. Even if they are working outside home, they were not properly paid. That kind of system was existed here as the landlordism. And even there is a custom that the first night, a poor peasant woman should go to the landlord, and the virginity breaking, it is done by it was done by landlord. There is a custom like that in Malabar area in Kerala. And August Babel wrote this in his books, Women in Past, Present and Future. You know that August Babel, who's lived in the same era of Karl Marx, he wrote about Malabar. At that time, Kerala doesn't formed. That area is known as Malabar, and there is a custom like that. There are so many customs because of the religious beliefs and social customs. There are anti-woman activities are in throughout the world, and in India it is rampant. We can say it is rampant in India, in rural area especially. That's why I said that it belongs to the social status or social system. We should have to change the social system. Women emancipation means emancipation in economic sector, in social sector and political sector. We should discuss both the three things. The economic and the social and political change. Through that change only we can achieve the women emancipation. Now we can listen that the workforce, in the total workforce, what is the share of women in India? It's very, very less. Women are working hard. More than 90% of women are working more than men. But the workforce share, the earning member, if you are considering the earning member, it is below 23% or like that. And that 23% also shows that low paid women, that we are not properly paid agricultural workers. They are not getting equal wages like men in most of the parts. In some part they are getting equal wages, but in some part more but they are getting low wage than men. Even in the MNREGA, they are saying that they are giving equal wages, but what is the work they are doing? Only they removing the sand and like that. No skilled labor is getting for women. Unskilled labor. Women are moving to the unskilled labor, and that is the activity of women in the labor part. And the educated women also. We should examine that whether the educated women are doing any work or not. Nowadays, if they become economically well built, a large number of women are not working. If they are belongs to a hi-fi family, economically safe family, the women are not working as their own. Every woman have their share to the society. They should have to work in the some entrepreneurship, etc. The women coming to the entrepreneurship, that is also too less. They are not coming as their own. Sometimes their backseat driving is happening. Women are in front of to get some loans. They are placing women in front of some projects or some entrepreneurships, etc. But they actually some others are running. So many entrepreneurs are here. I am not denying that, but that is the less in number. We should have to encourage women to take all activities or involve in each and everything to become earning member, to become economically safe, and also to challenge or question the customs and beliefs against women. That's not happening here properly. And under the religious attitudes, they are obeying that religious things. Women are obeying. Women should have to obey that kind of anti-women customs nowadays also. So we should have to fight against that. I'm not elaborating. So many things are there, and but the pandemic season that also. The pandemic jeopardize is the existing capacity also, and it makes so many difficulties to the woman. They are again driven back to the home-based workers. They cannot go to the job properly, and again they are moving to the home. Inside the home, they are doing all the works, but it is not estimated how much work they are doing, how much they are getting for that. They have to nurse their little ones, and also the old age peoples, and also the husbands are ordering to prepare this, then that. Then again the women are suffering inside the home. And also the domestic violences are. I am lucky that in Kerala we have a survey on that, and we found out that domestic violence not increased much more in here. But in some other part, they are saying that the domestic violence also increased during the pandemic season. The society is denying their physical presence in other places, and they are driven back to the darkness of the homely atmosphere. Sometimes they are suffering more than the previous period. And that also we should have to find out. In Kerala, we are giving counseling to each and every members inside the home. I think that is why we called 42 lakhs families through our Anganwadi workers and helpers and our counselors. We telephoned 42 lakhs families during this pandemic season and give guidance, and we give support to them. I think that is why they can release their suppressions and emotions. That is why we can reduce the domestic violence, etc. But it is there. That atmosphere is there. When if our attention become less, that will become forefront. That situation comes to the forefront. Every time we have to listen these kind of things. And we are also in Kerala, we decided to organize a international summit, international conference for women, the social business. That is the important agenda, entrepreneurship of women, and the social business, how women can enter into the social business, and how can make the women earning members and also entrepreneurs. That we are conducting in February 11 to 13, we are conducting a ICGE. And I invite you all to participate in that in international summit. Some important personalities are also participating in that summit. And we will, after that conference, we will definitely we will form a policy on social business and entrepreneurships of women, and that also will help for women more than anything. And with the words, I want to point out, I want to get your discussion, the core of your discussion points after your summit. Please send me to, and I will try my best to implement in my department. One more happy thing is that this government organized or formed a women and children department. A separate women and children department was formed by this government. Previously, the issue of women and children were under social justice department, and now we have a separate department for women and children. We can do so many things through this department. And if you send your discussions, key points of your discussions, I will try to implement that things through my department in Kerala. I will assure that thing. And once more, I want to point out that thing. Only through a social change, we can achieve anything. Especially women can achieve gender equality. Please try to inculcate scientific thinkings to the society, scientific thinkings to women. If they have false beliefs, they are superficial, they cannot do anything in the society. And first of all, we want to have scientific thinking. And we should have to fight against all the superstitions and all the caste differentiations and this kind of race, without any caste, race or color. We should have to unite all the women together. We should practice them to think not religiously, but we should have it to secular feeling and democratic feeling and also scientific thought. Then only women can escape from this trap, you know. Try your best. You all are very energetic and very active, and try your best to inculcate scientific feelings in the society and to have social changes in the society. Let us fight. We can yield good results. And I am with you. As a minister, I can say I will try my best to implement your thinking in Kerala through Women and Children Department. Once more, I thank you everybody for inviting me to this conference.
Wow, what a fabulous speech, ma'am. Yes, she is powerful, irrespective of caste, religion. And as you said, we have highly qualified housewives here, and how we can make them active in workforce, that we are discussing. And we have good examples like She Taxi, Gender Park initiatives. And as you said, all the best for the exclusive Women Summit. We'll definitely send our suggestions, key points, and we are expecting more from government side too. Thank you so much for sharing your time in spite of your cabinet and official business. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nisha. I think Thunish is with you. He is leading that Gender Park conference, etc. A brave and active young man. I am very happy that I got him as the CEO of the Gender Park. And he invited me for you for this conference.
Yes, he is joining with us tomorrow for this session,
yes,
for the Gender Park session.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Over to you, Anjana. Sorry for the interference again.
Thank you, Nisha. What a speech. It's so encouraging, so empowering. No wonder she is our pride of Kerala. Yeah, it's wonderful to have her in our discussion. Okay, so now let's get back to our business.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I think I want to go to Shruti. Shruti was talking about some upskilling, reskilling openings. So, like normally MNCs have their own way of upskilling, but I have a doubt that whether this gender disparity has any place in that. So, Shruti, throw some light on this? Or now there are so many digital platforms also, which we have seen that have come out at the lockdown period. So, I think many has made use of these things. So, what is your insight into this?
Uh, yeah, Anjana. So the need for upskilling and reskilling, as discussed, is a global issue, and multiple reports state that more than half of the employees need significant reskilling and upskilling, and not just in technical capabilities, but like understanding and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, and also become proficient in soft skills such as communication, attention to detail, and listening skills. So as just Minister Ma'am, she just said, overcome the social evil beliefs. That is very important. Even that is I would say that is also an important part to be reskilling there. We need to change, and the companies are helping uh, by encouraging them to attend some one-on-one sessions, okay, where they are where they counsel people if they are facing some challenges in their career, in their personal lives, in their professional at work, or in learning things. So I would say that COVID has resulted in major, as we all know, job loss across the world. And this has led a, a more competition, and the need for upskilling is very important to be preferred and get selected. So as you see, almost all job roles require the digital competencies, and yet only a fraction of their current workforce is digitally native. By that, I mean figuring out how they can adapt to rapidly changing conditions, and the companies have to learn how to match those workers to new roles and activities. So what I've seen a difference before and after is that some of the companies have actually taken initiative in helping their resources. So this is not specific to just men, to females, but this is across, but across the industries. But then they're helping them reskilling and upskilling with the job roles and requiring digital competencies, and like initiatives by partnering with some major e-learning platforms like Udacity uh, and Upgrade. And Upgrade is one of the platforms which is actually offering pay in easy AMIs. So people can actually, I mean, not just we don't have to actually depend with on the companies itself, but if we can actually explore and identify the platforms, there are some platforms which are like edX, which is open source, and it is free of cost. So you can go through Coursera, edX, Udacity, and you can start learning courses which are matching your skill set and your career future career, okay. And there are free one-on-one career guidance through upgrades, and aspiring candidates can actually book their slots and consult the experts there. So these all are helping. And there is one organization which has actually come forward called HerTech. So HerTech is a community of women in technology who are creating solutions, driving change, and sharing tools and resources to derive insights for a better tomorrow. They are offering help in various ways. So you can actually consult them. They do one-on-one sessions. They do group sessions, and so this is one that I've come across, which is one organization which is actually very helpful, and some organizations are also trying to partner with this. Companies like TCS have partnered with Udemy, and encouraging their employees to learn and grow in their field of practice. They push them to such an extent that they get bored, but at the end of the day, it is a great experience when you complete and when you learn, and when you are able to achieve that target. It really encourages you to learn further. So I am one among those, because in this 2020, I was able to complete a course, a session for a business analyst. It was called a business analyst practitioner course. So that was a 2-month program. But then if it was, now again, I'll come back to how work from home has helped me here. So if it was with, if I had to go to office and I had to complete, then it wouldn't have been possible, because this required time apart from my regular work. So with so much of work around, it wouldn't have been possible. But then even in the discouraging times of COVID, and when we were all really scared and all, I could give enough time to learn, grow, and then I was selected among top 300 people there as a speaker for business analyst, and how the role of a business analyst is required in the digital era. So that ways, I felt that this is an encouraging platform where companies are actually helping, and that has helped me grow. Grow professionally in my job, because I was there selected again as a. I was given more preference after this selection. The TCS recognized me, and the client, they got to know about this achievement, and they also helped me with some rewards and recognitions. And then there are companies, company like Infosys. It is partnering with 3 of the most recognizable e-learning firms: Udacity, Coursera, and EduNext. So this ways, I see, and as I belong to Hyderabad, just to let you know, so just yesterday, it was declared that government of Telangana would partner with some academies, and they would like to encourage learning and help people grow in their careers. And this would not be specific to certain sectors, but across all sectors. So one thing I would like to say is, while the companies are taking these initiatives, individuals should also adapt. I mean, and especially, I see this. Boys.
Yes, Shruti. Yes, thank you so much, Shruti. Sorry to interrupt. We are almost running short of time.
Okay, sure.
But yes, on that positive note, so I was just waiting whether if we have some session, please let's have it. So the audience, if you have any questions, please go ahead. So I'll wait for a minute more.
Oh, okay. Can I come in now? I've been unmuted. Okay.
Sure, ma'am, please.
Okay, I'm Mriduleepan. I'm a member of the planning board looking after gender. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't hear the whole session, but just looking at the title, what had struck me and what I had wanted to discuss was, we know that technological change is happening very rapidly, especially during this time. All studies show that the speed with which technology is changing is much higher than what it used to be earlier. So, and it's also extremely labor saving. So my worry now, one thing which was Miss, I think Shruti was talking about, that's a wonderful thing. People who are already employed in companies, how they can be upskilled. That's a wonderful thing that companies themselves are doing. Then other platforms are offering training programs. So that's one way in which we can proceed. But there are a whole lot of, I'm talking about Kerala especially, whereas literacy levels are very high. So there is a huge section of women who've completed the 10th standard, for instance, but without any skill. Now, my thing is, how do you skill them, firstly, and for what? Because we also should know what is coming up. If things like artificial intelligence, robotics are coming up on the one hand, but there must be some sort of industries which are coming up, which may require physical spaces. Even if not physical spaces, they may require human power. We know that that's going to happen, that will be there. So keeping those sort of industries in mind, what are the types of skills in which these women, these large sections of women who at the moment are not employed in any company, but need jobs, they need to be employed, and how can we skill them? That is the question which is in my mind, the foremost question in my mind.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for the question. So, panelists would like to answer that. Unfortunately, Dr. Saundarya has just left. She would have been able to do that. So, Shruti, would you like to go to that?
Yeah, I do understand about it, but what I would like to say is that we need to, it was discussed earlier by the question by Rahul again applies here, like how we can encourage people who are not employed. Because yes, I do agree that people who are already working, it is the companies are all encouraging them and helping them, but then people who are not employed, so we have to there, now with social media, I think there is a lot of awareness, and we have to grow. And it's not that people who are just passed just 10th pass, and I think most of us, with the digitalization, most of us are using the cell phones with WhatsApp. I see WhatsApp and forwards are too encouraging, even if it is, I mean, they spread like fire. So we should start something like that, where we can encourage people, and out of 100, at least 10 of the people would at least try to understand the concepts that we share, because people believe in these forwards very quickly. So maybe that could be one of the platform where we can change this we can change start encouraging people, like what are the facilities, and if these companies, I mean, if this e-learning platforms, if they can uh, offer more help, not just with the companies, but to people who are not working, some free education, then I think that would be very helpful. And I had one more point where I wanted to say that uh, we should try to encourage, I mean, females or anyone. I mean, we have even male people, men here. So, I mean, customizing your brand individually is very important. It should be across the teams or in organizations or individually. Create your personal competitive advantage and grow your network. Yes. So growing network may help them to your answer there. And I mean, there are some basics of any job. If they really want to get into technology, then there are some basics of jobs where like SQL, Python, if it is in technology, and if maybe Shailaja can answer well, if I'm not wrong, that the speaker, how they can learn sales and marketing. And I think YouTube is one platform again, where we have numerous courses now available online. And I see even there are people who lack in communication skills. So there are some videos where people are able to learn their communication skills. All kind of skills are, I mean, there are, if you really explore, internet, then there's enough of information there. And I think with the digitalization and so much of data available at a very low cost, that would be, I think it is possible. Maybe it will take some
Thank
time.
you so much on that.
Yeah, I want to add
exactly.
one more point here, Anjana. So what Shruti was saying, on top of it, I just want to add one more thing. I think the career guidance or reskilling, whatever it is, it should start from the colleges. Okay, it should be like I mean, whatever we are talking right now, it's about a reskilling, but the basic problem starts from the skilling itself. When you take at the current scenario, like if you can take a lot of students, maybe it's men or women, or maybe like it's girls or boys, if they want to get into some kind of a technical career, they don't know where to start and what to study, right? As she was mentioning, like whether it can be a Python or a sales job, whatever it is, it's not only about a reskilling. I think the skilling, the career guidance for the students, it must start from the colleges. I think right now I can see a lot of the people who are working in corporates, they are volunteering themselves, and they are in the weekends they are supporting a lot of students. I think this should I mean, this kind of career guidance should grow, and as an individual.
Yes, Sharmila. Yeah, thank you so much. So we are running short of time.
Sorry. I think this is very interesting. I think this is a very interesting thing.
We got it there. Yeah, skilling is more important. We are speaking of reskilling, but yes, of course, skilling and proper guidance is important.
Yes.
So I'm extremely sorry that we don't have more time.
That's fine, sir. That's fine.
Yes, and Mrudula ma'am, we were discussing those points in the session, providing women with the necessary skills for becoming leaders in the new digital era and speeding progress towards diversity at the top. Anyway, thank you for joining with us.
Thank you so much with all the panelists. It was a wonderful session. I enjoyed it. I'm enlightened and more empowered. I'm sure our audience will also be so. So thank you so much. So our summit will continue tomorrow too. Nisha, would you like to add something?
Yeah, really, we are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience with ShePower. And thank you, participants, for being active. Thank you, Dr. Saji Gopinath, Dr. Saundarya, Rajesh, Shruti, Srivastava, and Sharmila for making this session live and informative. Tomorrow, we will meet here to discuss technology solutions for women's security and hygiene. Padman of India, Arunachala Muruganandam, will be interacting with us. Please do join us at 11 a.m. Okay. Thanks, Swat, Kerala Startup Mission, Gender Park, for making this event a grand success. Thank you. Thank you all participants.
ShePower Virtual Hackathon and Summit in association with US Department of State, Alumni Ties and World Learning. Title sponsor Swad Food Products.
കീടനാശിനി വിമുക്തമായ സ്വാദ് അടാട്ടുമട്ടയരി നല്ല ഭക്ഷണം തന്നെയാണ് നല്ല മരുന്ന്.
Execution partner Kerala Startup Mission, powered by ChannelIM.com, supported by Gender Park, Carve Startup Labs and Geeks Up. Event support Green Media. ShePower Virtual Hackathon and Summit in association with US Department of State, Alumni Ties and World Learning. Title sponsor Swad Food Products.